Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Elise here of Plan with Elise, and it is the most wonderful time of the year because it is planner lineup season. Now, I'm saying planner lineup, but this isn't 100% a lineup. Let me explain a little bit, but move this over so that you don't have that glare hitting you. The last several years, how many on YouTube? 4, I guess, on YouTube. I have shared a pretty concrete planner lineup. I've stuck to it. I've committed to it. And as we start to get closer to 2025 and prep for 2025, there are some things that I know with 100% certainty, or at least 99% certainty, that I will likely be using all year. There are other things that I want to play around with and try, and new systems to experiment with. So even though the thumbnail of this says planner lineup because that's the way that you know it, the way that I'm describing this video internally anyway, and now externally, is these are planners that I'd like to use next year. So I'm going to share each of them and share some thoughts I have about them, what I'm planning on doing and hoping that it stays. There are 10 planners here. I am not going to be using 10 planners next year. I can almost guarantee that. However, I can't say that throughout the entire 12 months, 365 days of the year, I will not be using 10 planners at some point. So we're going to clear off the desk, go through each one. I'm going to talk about why I like it, what it's going to be helpful for me for, how I plan on using it. And then as we get into December, I will have setup videos for a few of these, not all of them, but a few of them. I don't want to be stuck to the process of every single planner needs a full-blown setup video in order for me to use it. We're just going to kind of go this year and see what happens. I probably could have talked about that for longer, but I also know that you want to watch a video and get to the point. So I first want to talk about goal setting and kind of my catch-all system. And I'm planning to use the Moxie Life 2025 Weekly Vertical Edition as my catch-all. This is the first time that I will not be using a disc-bound. Well, I hate the word catch-all because there's so many, nothing catches everything. So we're just going to say as my vertical weekly planner. I love the lines here. I love that it's simple. I wanted to confirm that I'd be able to use it. So, oh, you know what? We've got a lighting issue here. There we go. I actually had a friend who had an extra vertical weekly from 2024 that she sent to me. And I've been playing around with it the last few weeks and testing it out and making sure that I can use it the way that I want to. So what I really like about this is having my goals and my week all in the same thing. I think that on the months that I don't accomplish my goals, it's because I'm not paying attention to them. I will tell you, I'm looking around my desk right now and I don't even see my companion notebook because it's probably buried under something. However, if it's in the planner that I'm using every day, it's going to make it much easier for me to set my weekly actions, set up my monthly goals, set my weekly actions, and plan out my week and track my habits. So I'm really excited about using this, and I hope that it works for me all year. I do love Moxie Life. I have some of the accessories that came out with the launch. So this is my 2025 vertical planner. Right now, I think the cover that's on here is the forest green that it came with, but I do have it in this folio that I plan on setting up and all that jazz. So that is planner number 1 and the planner that I plan to use as my everyday. Code Plan with Elise will give you a discount at Moxie Life. There will be some Black Friday sales, so stay tuned for those as well. But if you are looking to shop maybe before things go out of stock, Code Plan with Elise will give you that discount. Also, these are in no particular order except what's easy to grab right now. So next up, we have this Undated Agenda Notebook from Cloth and Paper. I picked this up when I was at the Chicago Planner Conference and Cloth and Paper was vending. And when I got it, I wasn't quite sure what my intent was going to be with it. However, last night I was looking through it and I really love this idea of like a book-bound planner. I'm not a Hobonichi girl because, don't get mad, but I don't like the Tomoe River paper. I've tested it before and I don't like the paper, but I love Cloth and paper. So the way that I'm thinking of using this, so this is set up so that you have 12, like a month and notes, and you're going to have 12 of those. And then you have the weeklies, and the weekly looks like this: tasks, habits, and notes. I think that I'm going to be using this more for like memory keeping, is kind of what my brain is leaning towards right now. I really would love the idea of like using this part for photos. I don't know how that'll work given that it's book bound. I'd have to see what like the binding can hold. I don't need it as a journal because we're going to talk about journaling in a second, but I do want to use it somehow, and I'm leaning towards that. I also was thinking about junk journaling, but again, I don't know what the spine can hold, so we're going to kind of have to play around and see how it goes. But I know that it's something that I want to include as I look at next year. So as we're talking about journaling, there are two things that I want to go through. Number one is a Happy Planner dot grid bullet journal. You'll know that I love these. I stocked up during previous sales. Oh, I drew that. It looks horrible. We're probably going to cover that up. But I was like, let me start to do something here. No, that looks terrible. But I love my Happy Planner dot grid bullet journals. I've used them every single day this year, and I can fit a quarter in each one. So we'll need 4 of these through the year. There are new designs available. Also, with Happy Planners Cyber Week sales, they did just launch guided versions of these. So if opening up a dot grid journal overwhelms you and you don't know what you would write in it, the new versions, there are blank versions that came out in the fall release, but there are also versions that came out on, I think, Monday that have guides for you. I didn't pick up any of those because that's not a need that I have, but I think it's a really good alternate option. So because I have so many from last year's designs that have the same covers, what I'm thinking of doing is painting this white and then covering it in stickers. I want to paint it white first, I think, to have a good base, but I may need to then cover it in Mod Podge so that the white doesn't chip, and then cover it in stickers. I'm not sure yet, but it's something I'm thinking about, even if I do it like seasonally, or I don't know. We'll see what I decide to do with that. But we also have something else with journaling. So one of my favorite small shops in the planner community is Life Planner Action. I love the brand. I love Bess, the owner. And I picked up this 5-year, let me get the name right, 5-year journal. The idea of a 5-year journal, we're going to have to zoom in here, is that I'd write down the end of like the dates of 2025, 26, 27, 28, 29. And each year on January 1st, I'd write a line or 3 lines or something memorable. So I do my monthly 1 line per day, and that's kind of what this is, but it's going to carry me through 5 years. So when I say that this is part of my lineup, it is because I'm just going to touch it every day, but it's going to be for 15 seconds, and hope that for 5 years, this is something that I can continue using because it's really cute. It's compact. It's like a little smaller than my hand. I don't know that I have a ruler near me, but if I show you next to an A5 journal, it's much smaller. Oh, we're still zoomed in. Sorry. It's much smaller. So that is something that I'm really excited to include in my lineup. Again, this year is the year that I want to do things somewhat differently, but you are going to see some things of mine that you've seen before. Next up, we have a budget planner. This is probably not a surprise, but I have the Kelva Plan budget planner. It's what I've used this year. And when I did my budget planner review video a couple of weeks ago, this I think came out on top as my favorite. This will probably be my first setup video. You can expect that, I'd say maybe in the first or second week of January, or December, sorry, first or second week of December. The way that I used it this year and the way that I'll use it next year is also including a lot of my own Etsy printables. If you don't know, I have a printable shop with a lot of budget trackers and also reading trackers on Etsy, and I'll take out some of these pages. Like I would take out the pay in for and the debt tracker because I don't use pay in for and I don't have debt besides my home. But there are some things that I will keep in. What I like the most about this planner is the weekly pages. I use dot markers to color code my categories of spending. So like my car would be one color, home spending would be another, food would be another. And I put those here. So if I get gas, I would put a dot of the same color as gas the day that I spend it. I'd write it down, and then at the end, I total everything. What I'll probably include in this as well is some sort of, we're going to have the weekly total here, but what I also need is a review type page. Like, okay, these are my totals for the week, but am I on track with my budget? What was my budget? Am I on track with it? What do I have to spend with the next week that's coming? This planner is currently available. I'll have a link to it in the description of the video. And then in the back, after 12 months, it is undated, so you'll have to date it. But in the back, there's a bunch of extra pages. You have savings trackers, a budget plan for certain areas of life, online order trackers. I've done 2 flip throughs of this on YouTube, so we're not doing a full flip right now, but just kind of showing you some of the features that I really like. I like that it's disc bound, so I can move things around. So that is my budget planner, and definitely stay tuned for that video because it is one of my favorite videos of the year every year. We are halfway through. Next up, I have a Laurel Denise portrait planner. This planner is one that I've been using on and off throughout the fall. And I say on and off because I'm not using it in November, and I don't think I used it in August. But one of the things that I really love about this is the ability to really list things out. Now that I have the Moxie Life vertical with the lines, I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to need this. However, I am going to set it up. The one thing that I've found that I've struggled with this planner is this first set of pages, because I'd fill it out, I'd get my habits set, I'd get some goals. I was using this for bills and books that I was reading. But then when I would turn to the first week, I would forget to turn back here. So I may not use these pages here, but what I love about the portrait planner is the ability to see the whole month and list everything out. So that is the best part of this. Of course, that's what makes it a top-selling Laurel Denise planner. So I can't say that, like, I was able to say, okay, this is what I'm using for budgeting, and this is what I'm using for journaling, and all of that. I don't quite know where this will be, except for like sort of another catch-all, kind of a brain dump of everything in my life, because the ability to see the entire month and also the whole week at once is really helpful. I did try using this for Plan with Elise for all business and social media things. And where I struggled with it for that was because I didn't think that the to-do this week was big enough for what I needed to do. And I'll get to that in a minute, but the way that I'm currently setting up everything for Plan with Elise just makes sense to me, and it works. So I don't know how much of the year I'll be using this planner, but it is a planner that I purchased with my money and that I want to use. I just have to figure out the right way to be able to use it. So this is the I think this is the crowd favorite cover. It doesn't say. Also, oh, I want to talk about this. So with Laurel Denise, you can choose between a Sunday and a Monday start. I choose a Monday start because I like my week to have a Monday start. My month, I will change to a Sunday start. I have Planner Kate kit here. Some of these are left over from the Happy Planner kit, but I have the monthly Laurel Denise kit. And I'll be redating this to start on a Sunday because I do still want to see my month on a Sunday, but my week I want to see as a Monday because every other planner I use has the month as a Sunday start. When I look up here, if I look at this, I'm expecting this to be Monday. So it's just the best way for me to not make mistakes because I tend to make a lot of mistakes. So that is my plan for this planner. Final note here, code Elise10 will give you a discount at Laurel Denise. Since we were talking about social media, I figured I would jump to this planner. So since May, I think I've been using the Kelva Plan dashboard planner, and that's what I'm going to be using for Plan with Elise for 2025. However, I'm going to combine it with LiveLovePosh quad layout pages. So I want to show you an example of September where, whoops, these are the LiveLovePosh quad pages here. And these are the undated quad pages. I like to be able to break things down by category over here, and then I do all of my listing here. This is the best way for me to use this planner. What I do on hopefully Sunday nights is I fill out the left side of everything that I need to do this week, and then as each day comes, I move things over from one side to the other. And that's where I was saying that the Laurel Denise portrait doesn't have the room for me to be able to, on that left side of to do this week, move everything over. This is kind of just how my brain is working best with what I need to do for Plan with Elise, and I'm going to continue to use it. So I'll add the LiveLovePosh pages in here, but I think that this is just going to make the most sense for me leading into the new year because it's the same type of planner that's worked for me for a long time. What I do love about using the Kelva Plan version is the ability to have a little bit more space because you don't have that top box that the Happy Planner dashboard has where I list out what's happening. I don't really need it. And if I do end up needing anything else, because it's disc bound, I'll be able to add in any pages. I believe that this will be part of the Thankful sale that starts on Thursday night. So definitely wait for that if you're looking to buy a Kelva planner. But if you click the link right now that's in the description of my video, there is I think it's a 7-day cookie, which means that if you click my link, as long as you purchase within 7 days and you don't click another affiliate's link, I'll still earn credit from the order. Kelva Plan does not do discount codes. So as an affiliate, we really rely on you using our actual link to get to the site because that helps us financially because we earn a commission, but it also shows the brands because they can see how many people are clicking and purchasing that what we're sharing with you is valuable. So this is my Plan with Elise planner. I will probably do a setup of this. I also will probably change out the cover. While this cover is really beautiful, one of the things that I have to be mindful of as a content creator is that I take photos of my planner. And if I am using, I don't know, I can't think of an example, but you can see this background here when I'm taking a photo, and I don't always want that because I want it to kind of match the photo. So that will probably be something that I switch out. This year I'm using a hardcover. Oh no, I'm not. I'm actually using a Happy Planner cover on it. But I like that this is neutral on the inside, so I may just swap this out. I'm not a huge cover person. I typically just like a neutral one, but I have a bunch of snap-in covers, so I may just pop a black one on here. Next up, we do have a Happy Planner. We have a big vertical Happy Planner. I don't remember which one this is, but this is a big vertical. Right now, all Happy Planners are 35% off with their cyber deals. And this I'm going to be using the exact same way that I use it this year. This is a planner that I do hope and plan to use every single week. I will change out the cover and 100% the discs because I'm going to want black discs because I love a neutral planner, but I can't just get rid of discs. My goal here was never to like switch away from a certain brand or anything like that, but I'll explain in a minute when I talk about a classic size. But I love decorating my big planner. It's really functional for me. I love the ability to add a lot of decor, but also my checklist. It's one of my favorite planners to decorate, but also one of my favorite planners to set up, like to use each week when I open it. So this is not going anywhere. This is still a planner that I will be using. I tend to not use the currently or the monthly in these pages. That probably won't change, but this will just be what you've seen me use for the last few years because I really love this planner. So again, all happy planners right now are 35% off with their cyber deals, and I'll have a link in the description. We have an Archer and Olive notebook here. I don't know that I've ever like shared an Archer and Olive notebook as part of a lineup. So I saw this notebook and I saw this months ago. I don't even remember when this released. And I thought that it was one of the prettiest things that I had ever seen. Do you see that detail? This is like probably a vegan leather cover, but oh my goodness, this is the prettiest detail that I've ever seen. My thought here is to use this as a reading journal. That thought is like 50% confirmed. And I say 50% confirmed because I'm very overwhelmed at the idea of setting up a journal from scratch. What I would like to do, but I really don't know if I have time for, is recreate some of my own reading tracker pages that I have in my Etsy shop to fit this and put them in. I don't know that I can be someone who fully sets up a bullet journal as a reading journal. I'm concerned that it's too time consuming and I'm not like good enough at even drawing a basic line to be able to do it. If I I dedicate some time, hopefully this weekend if I can, to kind of figure out whether or not I can use this and I decide that I can't, my backup plan is to use this as a memory keeper. This to print out photos if they're not going to work in the Archer and Olive. And I'll be using the Hell of a Plan reading journal as my reading journal for the year. Again, a little bit of a disclaimer. I have not updated my reading journal in months. Reading for me is something that I absolutely love to do when I want to do it. It was something that really kept me company for the last few years when I was single and I was finished with my to-do list and my friends and family were busy and I just didn't really have anything else to do. Reading became a really great escape for me. This year, entering a relationship in January, writing a book, my life has gotten so busy that sometimes weeks go by before I open my Kindle. So I don't want to force myself to necessarily have a reading planner that I'm not sure I'll always be able to update. So I'd say that out of all of the planners that I'm pulling out and showing you today, this is the one that's the most like up in the air because I'm not entirely sure how I'll be using it. As I'm talking through this right now, I'm leaning towards memory keeping because I feel like that's probably going to make the most sense for me. And I just think that this is so beautiful and I don't want it to go to waste. And I say waste because if I use it as a reading journal, I don't know how much I'll be using it. So I think that this is going to hold my memories of 2025 because I think it's going to be a really special year. Okay, so I figured that if we were talking about the Kell of a Plan reading journal, I had to pull it out. So now we are at 11 for the year. But this is the Kell of a Plan Undated Reading Planner, where we have book of the month, yearly overview, reading challenge, reading bucket list, monthly reading goals. I think that this is going to make the most sense for me, especially because it's undated And if I read this week, but I don't read this week or this week, I can just pop out the pages. I think that having something that's already set up for me, similar to what I said about my budget planner when I did a budget video of needing something that's already there and not something that I have to create, is probably going to be really helpful for me. So I didn't necessarily expect to come on and change my lineup mid-video, but sometimes you need to just talk through it. And as I'm talking through it, I think that this is what's going to make the most sense for me. So this is the Hell of a Plan reading planner. I don't know if this is still available or not. If it is, I'll be sure that it's linked in the description. Okay, we have made it to the final planner, and this is the planner that's going to take the most setup. There will definitely be a video about this, but it's also the planner that's going to be the most different from anything I've ever done before. So I have a Happy Planner Classic Vertical Layout. This is 2025. I love how neutral it is, etc. But we're going to do some things here. Now I'm going to show you a little bit as an example, but just a little bit. I am going to be taking out the weekly pages. Now, I can't take out this page because it's the currently, and this page, which is the monthly. Inside of these pages, we are going to house the things that you've seen me create over the years and that I use in my planner, but I don't have the ability to put in the other planners I showed you. So my thought process here is that I'm going to have all of the monthly dividers. And then inside of those, I'm going to have things like my monthly memorable moments. I'm going to have my monthly currently, my favorites pages. And then I also have some extra inserts that I purchased, but also ones that I'm going to create. Do you remember the Hell of a Plan launch last month with like habits and trackers? I want to include those, but I also picked up some Lights Planner Action inserts. So this is a health insert where I can track my steps, activity, meals, mood, healthy habits. And these are sized for classic and I just punched them. So we have the health inserts. I also picked up the projects. The projects insert, so project planning, description, start, finish, tasks, and supplies, because there's a lot of different home projects that I want to do, and this has some note paper in there as well. I also got a meal planner, grocery list, and meal plan. So my thought is that in between these monthly dividers, I will have things, like I said, currently, favorites, memorable moments each month, meals for the month, projects that I'm working on, and health and fitness. It's not going to be my weekly vertical like we've typically seen, but it's going to be a place to house all of those extra things. I'll have some note pages that I also picked up from Lights Planner Action to put anything else that I'm thinking of, and kind of like a brain dump space inside of these pages. I feel like this one is the hardest to explain without showing you. So I do want to get this planner set up very soon. But other things like that I'll have in here are Planner Kate dashboards. So actually haven't even opened this package yet. It just came yesterday. But there are certain challenges, like I have Peloton challenge, I have a weekly to-do list, I have an ideal week. These are really cool. These are color swatches for my pens, but I have like a yearly overview. So there's also a lot of other ones. I do have a video coming later this week showing my favorite Planner Kate items as we're heading into Black Friday and 2025 prep. So again, this is the planner that I'm really excited about because it's very different from anything I've ever done, but it's the hardest to explain. So stay tuned for that video where I can actually set it up and show you. Today's video was more meant to be here are the planners that I'm looking to use next year and how I'm thinking of using them. So that was 11 planners that we pulled out. Again, I do not plan on opening 11 planners on a daily basis. I don't even open all of my current planners on a daily basis. Like my budget planner, I only open when I spend money or I need to update my budget. My reading planner, I open when I read, not even as much lately. My journal, I do open every day. My big planner, I open every day. But I'm not looking to spend hours of my life every single day planning. I'm trying a lot of different systems and brands. Let's see, we have Happy Planner, Archer and Olive, Lights Planner Action, Cloth and Paper, Laurel Denise, Keleva Plan, LiveLovePosh. We have 7 different brands that I am, and Planner Kate sort of, but 7 different brands that I am looking to kind of merge and incorporate to create my ideal year. I've had a lot of changes in my life in the last several years. I have more changes that are going to be coming next year, but I'm probably more excited for 2025 than I've been for a year in a really long time, because I just can't wait to see what it brings. So hopefully this video somewhat helped you, maybe gave you some ideas. Talking through it was also helpful. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to link everything in the description that I can locate. I don't know stock availability on it all, but remember, using affiliate links and discount codes if they're available is really, really helpful. If you are already shopping on a website, using a link doesn't cost you anything extra, but it really does help creators, especially in a week like this with Cyber Week, where we are working very, very hard to be able to get content out for you. Today is Tuesday, it's book release day, and this video is going up this evening. So there is a lot of like last minute filming going on to be able to share information with you in real time as these sales are going live. So I think that's a wrap. Let me know if you have any questions about what I shared today and kind of how I'm planning on using everything. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful week, a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate, and I will see you next time.